Hello everyone, good morning again. And I'm now up on stage here with Habib. He's based at the University of Gießen in Germany. And do you want to start by telling us about the area that your research is within?
Thanks, Katie. And I'm working in the area of plant breeding in a broader way. So that's the general
Plant breeding.
plant breeding.
And we've got a picture behind us here of why plant breeding is becoming a more and more important area for research.
Yes, because we see the world population is increasing with enormous speed, especially in developing countries where I come from, where producing kids is more or less a hobby. So we have to cater for the growing population, and we have to produce new varieties which not only give a higher yield, for example, but also inexpensive and quick. So
we need cheaper ways of producing more food.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm presuming without taking up more space. We've obviously got a limited amount of land.
That's true.
So we need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And where are we currently on this? So we're about here somewhere now.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
we're predicting.
But by 2050, according to United Nations predictions, we will cross 9 billion. So that's a.
So we need more food to feed these people. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And we were going to talk a bit about how we've been doing this until now, and then perhaps move on to your work and how you're looking at new ways that we can better produce more food.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've been relying on conventional methodologies of plant breeding, which you can see in this sketch that, there are a lot of crossing field work, and then you have evaluation phase, and it takes ages. Like, for example, to declare a new variety, you you need, for example, at least 15 years to declare a new variety. So it's a huge work involved in that, and then you go for selection for the best variety. So I mean,
slow.
Yes, it's a kind of slow. So we need some alternative kind of methodologies.
So I guess it depends on the generation and how quickly. I mean, when I think about animal species, smaller animals have a smaller lifespan, so they can reproduce more quickly.
Yeah.
Humans longer, elephants, etc. So I'm presuming with crops they're somewhere in the middle there, and it takes years.
Well, actually, when we say we sort of because now we have DNA data available thanks to the DNA technologies, and we have enormous amount of data available. So we can use that data to predict for the future. And
so these are the new advances in this field. This is your work.
That's what I'm doing actually. So we scan the DNA and we check the data, and I mean we need computers and obviously statistical tools to deal with such.
So do you want to talk us through the process of what happens now? I know that this isn't all of the work that you do, but we're starting there with the plants themselves. How do we go through that process?
Yeah, so as you can see in these images, we take plants and we just. In my case, I took the leaves from the plants, and then we extract the DNA in the lab. And when we get the data out of this DNA, so as you can see, the DNA can be in these layers, and it consists of 4 letters. So basically, we don't use the whole DNA data. We rely on the molecular markers, or you can say variants.
So you're picking out specific bits of DNA that link to specific traits?
Yes, you can see in this red block that we have different, it's a bit shifted, but anyway. So we look for the variants in the genome, and then we check those variants, and then we make predictions for the future. So
are you given the specific bits of DNA that link to specific traits, and those are the bits that you work on?
Actually, it's we call it genome-wide. So we don't deal with individual genes. Obviously, complex traits, they're controlled by very many genes. So if you take, for example, one gene, it won't,
it won't reveal much. You need the full picture.
So we take a sort of holistic way of, of the whole. So it's like the whole genome-wide prediction. Yeah. That's
And do you want to talk about your specific species, what you're working on?
Yeah, I work in a very interesting species, actually. It's called Brassica napus, or commonly known as canola or rapeseed. So it's very important because we use this as edible oil. For example, also we can use it as a animal feed, and there are some studies that we can use this as a biodiesel, as a sustainable source of biodiesel as well. So.
So it's a crop that we really need.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of
it's
future
very,
potential.
Yeah, it has a commercial value as well. So that's
Of course,
yeah.
commercial value obviously
Yeah.
comes into this because
Yeah.
we need people to be able to afford to invest in the research. Okay, and what is it you're hoping to achieve through working on this species? What's the impact of your work going to be?
Well, there are two main factors in this sort of selection process or this methodology. That the first one is that we sort of squeeze the time, to if we avoid those of field trials. And the second one is inexpensive. Like we have these molecular data available to us, so I mean, why not?
So you want to do it quicker and cheaper?
That's true.
That's the aims. Okay.
That's the aim.
And what are we seeing on the graph behind us here?
Yeah, so this is just an example from my results. I just got some results, and you can see that the first graph indicates the yield in a conventional way.
This is how much we're producing.
Yes, yes. So, and the second is from genomic prediction or genomic selection, what I applied. So you can see there's a shift in the mean, and so for example, in the pre-selection, you can be sure that okay, these are the hybrids where we can select from. So instead of going to field trials and selecting different, doing different experiments and doing in a long way, so you're
producing only the ones that you
yes.
really want here, aren't you? You've got rid of all these sort of slightly rubbish versions.
Yeah, so you can get rid of the other one and
okay.
you can, so yeah.
Okay, brilliant, fantastic. Well, it's great to hear about your work in such a sort of global issue.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.